Welcome. Going to do my best here. Get everybody else on, okay. Right. What are we looking for? Here is
I ate the strawberries.
you ate strawberries? Okay, mommy's working. I need to go quiet. Okay, thank you.
I give you a hug when you go to work.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. Hello. We're good? You can hear me okay? Perfect. Waiting for one more to get on. She said she was having a hard time. So I sent a new link. We'll see. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Welcome, welcome. Oh, we got Dr. Felty. Here we go. Nice. Welcome, everyone. Beautiful day, beautiful faces. Happy to see you all here. So today's teaching is going to be around Reiki and chakra work. You know, the energy body, the energy work, you know, all the stuff that, you know, when so often when we're struggling with health issues, we're, you know, doing the self-healing journey and just, you know, getting stuck, can't break through, you know, you're seeing, you know, these health problems like repeating themselves, or you do actually start seeing some results, but you're just not quite at that optimum health yet. You know, you're not seeing what it is that you want to see in yourself. You know that there's still more. This is when the energy work is really so important, you know. So often if you are working with a practitioner that works with the energy, like a Reiki practitioner, or, you know, maybe it's an Ayurvedic practitioner, even functional medicine doctors will sometimes be able to tell if, you know, there's a sickness coming up before it actually shows up in the body, because they can tell from the energy field. And so when we're doing this work for ourselves, you know, we don't always have that information available to us until after we're already doing everything else. We are working out, we are eating right, we are, you know, drinking water and getting sunlight and like all of these kinds of things, and yet it's still not enough. There's still something stuck, still something coming up. And so the goal in today's, you know, session or teaching here is to teach you guys how to heal yourself using Reiki, self-Reiki, doing that for yourself, and also understanding the chakras in a more essential way. Hey, sweetie. Okay. All right. So Finn's got to use the bathroom. So when he calls me, Tristan, I'm going to need you to take over if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Still need some help in there. All right, so let's just start. I'm gonna share my screen here and bring up an old teaching I did back in 2017. It's that is not the training, but this will be okay. This is a good spot to start. So let's just take a look at the body here. We have, this would be the chakra body. There he is. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is, even if you want to draw this out, Tristan, you can help navigate them there. I'm going to mute. And if you guys just want to take a look at that, you can draw this out in your paper as well as the questions. I'm coming, sweetie. I can hear you. I just want to mute myself. I'm not sure how to do that. There we go.
Okay, everybody, welcome. So we have a nice diagram of our chakras. For anybody who's new to the chakras, this is something that I'm very partial to and falls into my specialty. So red, your root chakra, the one that gives you grounding and connection to the earth, the planet, is also your fear center. It's based off survival, and it's located at the base of the spine, just about where your tailbone is. So being based for your survival center, it's blocked by fear. It's rather primitive based, and it can be thrown off kilter really easy if we're feeling uncomfortable. A really good exercise to counteract feeling that fear with our root chakra is to just remind ourselves that, you know, we do have food and we do have water and we do have shelter and warmth. And sometimes if you're experiencing a harsh anxiety attack, just mentally reminding yourself of those basics for survival, that you have your basic needs. And quite often your root chakra will open back up again and that fear can pass. I don't know if Ashley, you want to take over, or if you want me to meander up all the chakras.
Yeah, you know, you've taught me a lot about the chakras. Even though I was your teacher in the beginning, you went off and you really started integrating so much occult stuff. So I really want to like say thank you for like all the work that you've added as well. And you know, I would love to just, you know, add on, if you wanted to use this as an opportunity to go through all of them and share your wisdom, that would be awesome. I do want to add though that when you're working with the root chakra, actually these elemental chakras, the first four, so we have the root chakra, this is actually earth. The sacral, that's water. The solar plexus, that's sun. And the heart is air. So these four elements we want to keep coming back to, and you're especially always going to come back to this root one. This is the hierarchy of needs, you know. And when we're talking about trust or about protection or about safety or anything like that, you're going to find all of that here. And so trusting in the universe is going to make it easier, that every time you come back to the root chakra, that it's flowing properly. It's just having a trust in yourself, a trust in the universe. That's a whole you know, teaching in itself to learn how to do that. But it doesn't matter what I teach you or what Tristan teaches you or what you read in the books. It's really going to come to you actually doing that work for yourself, you know, taking a little bit from everybody and everything and learning how to integrate it. And then these top three chakras, they're more of the ether chakras. You can find teachings on these four elemental chakras at elementalgrowth.org. I'll bring it up later so you guys can have those links. Or even while Tristan's doing a little teaching, I can even link them in the chat box actually, so you guys can bookmark them or go back later. Yeah, so if you'd like to just continue, Tristan, I didn't hear everything that you had said, but I did want to add that in.
I was just going over the basic meanings of the chakras, starting with the root. I wasn't sure how long you were going to be gone for, so I only got through the root chakra.
Okay, so yeah, I'll let you continue just giving a run through of each, and then I can jump back in a little bit.
Absolutely. So yeah, as I was, the root chakra is located at the base of the spine around the tailbone. The next chakra up is your sacral chakra. It's located, most people refer to it as the belly button chakra. My understanding is it actually is about 2 finger lengths just beneath your belly button. And Eastern mythology mixed with modern science from China, they feel that this is the origin of your Tian Tan line, which is the electromagnetic circuit of energy that goes through your body. And they've actually, going back about 10-15 years ago, they used radioactive isotopes and they put it throughout people's bodies on the Tian Tan line. And using mild amounts of radiation, they actually mapped the whole Tian Tan line, proving that there is a electromagnetic source that goes directly through and around inside somebody's body. And that was the first tangible evidence that they had, basically being able to see somebody's aura with science. And your sacral chakra is, as Ashley said, it's your water element. And this is your chakra that's based off happiness. And this gets blocked by, I believe it's shame. So it's opened through everything that you feel happy about, to which if you start feeling shame, unhealthy happiness, say you've cheated your way through something, perhaps a contest, or you cheated in a race and you know that you won based off of false pretense, that can block your sacral chakra. As well as if you're experiencing fear, that will ripple up and block all of them one by one. Above your sacral chakra, you have your solar plexus, which, as Ashley mentioned, is the element of sun, or also referred to as the element of fire. This is your willpower center, and this one's blocked by guilt. As I mentioned with the sacral chakra, every chakra beneath the higher up chakra has the potential to also block the rest of them going up. So you can be blocked by guilt, and you can also be blocked by if you're feeling unhappy. And merging the three together is where the analysis that I do with my coaching kind of comes in, because it's a full ripple effect that once you start to feel fear around a certain area of your life, it then infringes upon your happiness, and that will block the next chakra up. And once you aren't happy doing what it is that you're trying to do, or going forward with what you're trying to go forward with, it infringes upon your willpower, because then you don't want to go through with it. You don't want to continue doing what you're doing if you're unhappy. And then once you lose your willpower to go through it, it moves up into your heart chakra, which is you lose your love and your passion for it. So moving up to the heart chakra, which is the element of air, being located in your lungs. Your heart chakra is love, and it is blocked by grief. Often related to jealousy, jealousy being the color of green. And this is where it's kind of the source of depression. You know, if you're longing for something that you just can't obtain, someone you can't obtain, if you miss someone, if you're grieving, if you've experienced a loss, this will block your heart chakra. So it's very important to And this is where Ashley's 28-day program comes in. Use your affirmations to really re-imbue love into everything you do. As long as you can keep your heart chakra open, then you're, for the most part, you're balanced, with the energies moving upward, as well as any energies that do from your solar plexus move downward as well. From your heart chakra, it moves into your throat chakra. This is the area of truth, and it's blocked by lies. And not just if we're a very honest person and we never lie to other people. This is where we get into the area of lying to ourselves. And quite often we don't realize we're lying to ourselves because we feel we're being honest. And this is where negative self-talk comes in. Another trainer that I've experienced in my life, he referred to it as the law of awareness. And your limiting beliefs. If you have a limiting belief that is giving you a false sense of reality around the concept that you can't. If you can't do something, if you're telling yourself you can't do something, you will then, it blocks your third eye, which gives you the vision of seeing the future. And once you can't tangibly visualize with your imagination being able to do something, that then becomes your reality. Which is why the throat chakra is, for me, I always find it's the most important one to work with and deal with. And it most commonly loops back around to your negative self-talk will then cause fear. You'll create fear with negative self-talk. And then it loops back around to your root chakra and it'll clog you back all the way up to the top. And from your throat chakra, you move into your third eye, which is the connection. It's visually being able to see how everything is connected, how the whole universe works. As in my mind, it really works like a giant clock, an old-fashioned clock with hundreds of millions of tiny little cogs all moving, the cog beside it. And it's just a giant ripple effect. And when there's one cog that's malfunctioning, it throws everything else connected to it off. And your third eye really helps you visualize your future, and it visualizes where it is you want to go. And when your future visualizations, as I mentioned, is thrown off by negative self-talk and by little lies that we tell to ourselves, even if it's a white lie, we're still altering the state of the future that we want for ourselves. And moving up from your third eye, you have the crown chakra, which my research has always stated it's not technically connected to your body. It floats above your head. And through Catholicism and the stained glass paintings, it's your crown chakra that historically has given people that halo look of being able to represent your aura around your head through your crown chakra. And this is the chakra of being able to release your energy out of your body, regardless as to where it goes or what spiritual beliefs you have. As long as you can release the energy from you, those blockages will no longer be there, and your energies can flow freely. And the crown chakra is blocked by attachment. It's your physical, almost tangible need to want things, and the fear of letting go, that things won't circulate back to you. And there's even insights that I've had being a religious scholar and studying different religions throughout my lifetime. This is my understanding of what was referred to in the Bible when Jesus says, let go of your possessions, like give away all your possessions. It's an activity to help free your crown chakra and to let yourself just let go and not have that fear and that superficial need to own materialistic items, clothing. Oh, goodness. I'm not very good at knowing what people materialistically need. I know in my lifetime, I went through a bit of a depressed stage where I visually imagined if there was a house fire and everything in my house was gone, what would I honestly, emotionally miss? And the answer was really nothing. It was my bed. I'm attached to my bed, and really nothing else physically matters to me at this point in my life. And I view this as a good thing because that allows me to open up and let go. But then it emotionally will get tied into your heart chakra. Can you let go of people? Can you let go of your loved ones? Can you trust that the universe will always reroute to people and guide them back to each other? So the heart chakra will play a big element into blocking your crown chakra as well. And that's my go through of the chakras. Ashley, if you have anything you'd like to add, anything I may have missed.
That was a great overview. One of the reasons why I made this diagram for you guys is what I did in my previous trainings was I'd have people write out on one side any physical body blockages that they have, or any physical ailment, anything that's showing up. Maybe it's a sore throat, maybe it's a bone like knee, or a crick in the neck, or whatever. And on the other side, write down any spiritual blocks, emotional blocks, any pain you feel in any of these areas. This worksheet is also in my book, Be the Change, Your Guide to Elemental Growth. And I can give you the PDF file too if you email me, ashley@elementalgrowth.org. I also want to say, in talking about this, that I have done a good morning prayer as well as an evening gratitude that you can find on the Elemental Growth YouTube channel. It's just little meditations. I don't even care if you go to YouTube to MP3 and download it, do whatever. I don't care about the likes. Just make sure that you like that if you like it, that you're using it. So you can do it on YouTube, but to be honest with you, I'd rather see you guys turn your phones on airplane mode and just have it as an MP3. So if that's of interest to you, you can find those links as well, because they're really great for getting both the emotional body working first off, and then that healing, or giving you the tools you need to self-heal any physical ailments that are showing up. Because as I said before, any illness that's in the body shows up first in your energetic field. So if you can take care of your energetic field and heal that, then in return, your body will just begin to heal itself. It allows you to get out of your own way so that your miraculous, supernatural body can tap into all of its infinite healing potential. And this is really that sacred tool that we can use. There's many of them around this. What I would love to see in the medical field in the future is doctors break off into, instead of it being like a brain surgeon, neurologist, it's like everything to do with the crown chakra instead of it being like, that it's just the brain, and then spirit is a whole other thing. And then everybody working in the spirit realm is working with all of the spiritual realm, instead of, people having their specialties, but also being integrative at the same time. But I guess that's what our job is as an individual, and what my job is as a coach is to empower you to make your own individual process by using all the tools that are available, both in the spiritual realm and in the medical field as well. So I hope you guys have a copy of this diagram by now. If not, you can email me, as I said, and get the PDF version of it. I'm going to move into some of the chakra therapies. So first off, we have Reiki. Reiki is not necessarily massage, but is done on a massage table. It can also be done through distance. Reiki is now allowed in the hospitals, not allowed, but it's used professionally in hospitals, as is aromatherapy and essential oils, which is a really cool change that we've seen happen here. So Reiki, if you want to do some self Reiki, I always say start with your water. You know, give some good vibes, good intentions into your water. If you are a cannabis smoker, do that into your cannabis before you do inhale or before you eat those edibles. With any of your food in general, you know, just infuse it with love. You know, the best food is made with love, and that's something that's really missing in the processed food industry today and restaurants today, because they're mass producing everything. There's not the same love going into it. We've got a new member joining us. Cool. Okay, so then we move. Oh, actually, does anybody have any questions specific about Reiki? It's funny that Gary just joined in right now. He is another Reiki student of mine. He was first doing Reiki on his dog, and now to himself, and been reading books and all that kind of stuff. But this is my my stepdad, by the way, for anybody, and he's not the best on technology. So we'll see if he's on. Hey, how you doing, Papa Gary? Can you hear us or no? Oh, we'll just leave him and move into the yoga. Okay. We'll almost be done, okay? So coming into yoga here. Can't call Finn sweetie. He really doesn't like it, but I can't help myself. All right, so coming into yoga, another way that you guys can really tap into this chakra work is yoga and Ayurveda. Like, these are really old, ancient techniques that were used. This is like old school medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, yoga, Ayurveda. You know, they all use the chakras, even though Reiki itself wasn't brought to the West until after it was already established in Japan. So, you know, that's kind of like irrelevant history, but it's nice to know that, like, look, this stuff has been around since way before modern medicine, just as herbology was around long before modern medicine. And then, so coming into the yoga, some things that we can do are different asanas. Every single yoga pose ends in the word asana. So asana actually technically is the poses or the postures that you're holding or that you're doing repetitively. Like in Kundalini yoga, it's very repetitive movements. One like this is essentially washing yourself. This is the rebirth. This is allowing yourself to cleanse. One like this above your hand or above your head, that is aligning your aura, cleansing your aura. It could be building a protective bubble of positive energy to cultivate inside of yourself while also protecting that bubble from anything else coming in. So there are tons of different yoga asanas and ways to tap into the chakra healing and allowing your body to even release. One of the reasons why I love yoga so much is because it's a release of energy. The actual exercise itself is what allows that. Whereas Reiki, that's where another practitioner, another person is moving energy inside of you through them. So the Reiki practitioner is healing themselves by collecting that energy. I'm sorry, Gary, do you mind muting yourself? I don't know if you can see the button there. If I can hear back. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, so Reiki, the practitioner is channeling in all of the life force energy or channeling up the life force energy and then moving it into you or through technology into you. Or just, sending that through the air to wherever it is that you are, on those frequencies that are moving. Whereas yoga, that's totally self-empowerment. That's you taking this into your own hands and you releasing, using your energy, your sweat to release things, moving your body so that you are then healing yourself, getting stronger, building up resiliency, pushing yourself to new limits in many different ways. And it also just helps for building confidence and, allowing you to release emotionally as well. I find, some of my most transformational yoga practices have been where I'm very emotional, where I've pushed myself to the point of either crying as a form of release or to like insane laughter, where like I probably do sound like completely insane to some people, but it's very beautiful. There is actually a whole yoga practice that's called laughing yoga. Really cool to check out if that's something that's of interest to you. My favorite, what really transformed my life, has been Kundalini yoga. It's very repetitive movements. This is the old school yoga that came to the West in 1969 by Yogi Bhajan. And yeah, he was just teaching a whole bunch of flower children the art of yoga, but this was very spiritual. It was also very much talking about the chakras, working through the chakras to have the Kundalini awakening. And another thing that was cool about Yogi Bhajan and his teachings was that he also talked about that you could be successful in all areas of your life. It wasn't just about health. It wasn't just about happiness. It was also about wealth, and that you could tap into that as well. So I did another article on that called Kundalini Yoga, or I think it was Journey Through the Chakras, but using emotional intelligence. And that goes into a lot to do with Kundalini yoga, but I also brought in some of the business factors too. So you could, again, even in your own life, if you want to take responsibility in this way and you feel that this is where you're at right now, you can go check that out, elementalgrowth.org/articles, I believe. And you'll see a whole list of them there. And the Kundalini yoga one will have all those resources for you. This next one that I want to talk on is a very important and dear to me. My first certificate outside of the spiritual realm, outside of the ordinary college experience, which I spent about a decade in the hospitality and tourism industry. And then I went on to become a Reiki master, which was very much a spiritual world. And I practiced Kundalini yoga. But when I finally was ready to be serious and get into the coaching, I went for nutrition because it was a very serious download from mushrooms that nutrition was something I had to get a hand on, that I needed to really, I had to do for myself and then share with other people. So I needed to know how to do that. So I went and got certified in nutrition by the world's largest nutrition school, which is IIN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, for anybody interested in that or to connect with them. However, my journey didn't exactly start in nutrition school. That was my outlet to learn how to do this professionally. But the truth is, it was the mushrooms that taught me what I needed to know even beforehand. Mushrooms, they gave me a challenge to find out what food grows. They gave me a challenge to figure out what life force energy in food is. And so for a year, while doing heroic dose of mushrooms and getting myself sober off of alcohol and nicotine and sex and all of the other things that we indulge in this society, and a lot of it being normalized too, which is kind of insane because they're such dull tools when you consider what the psychedelics give to us, what pure nutrition, what yoga gives to us. They really are dull tools. But as I was moving through, I took this challenge on from the mushrooms of figuring out what life force energy means. I would go to every single store, bulk barns, grocery stores. I would order off the internet from organic places. And one thing that I would do is try to grow and sprout everything. So if I got a sweet potato, I would cut the sweet potato in half. I would see, are the leaves growing? How long does it take for the leaves to grow? A sweet potato, by the way, you guys, is a beautiful house plant. It's a great edible, but it also has the most beautiful vines and it grows really, really fast. It's a beautiful way to decorate your home. And so I would see, you know, how long does it take? And I started seeing that, you know, even if it's not organic, it can still grow and it can still grow really fast and it can still produce. Whereas I would also buy from organic bulk stores online and I would try to sprout quinoa and the quinoa just wouldn't sprout. Meanwhile, I go to a bulk barn and take the same quinoa and I would sprout it and I would see, you know, is this growing? And it would grow. So that put me down the rabbit hole of like, you know, is this organic thing, is this real or is it just a fad? And the truth is, it is really good to stay away from GMOs. It is really good to try to eat organic, but just because it says organic does not mean it's not sprayed. You know, things may still be sprayed in a truck. There may still be copper-based pesticides. You never know. You don't know until you take responsibility and you test for yourself. You know, my rule of thumb is like, you know, if it comes from the wild, that's going to have the highest nutrition quantity and it's going to be healthiest for you. Usually the weeds growing in your backyard are exactly what you need to survive, exactly what you need to heal yourself. You know, that's why it's growing around you. That's a very important law in herbology, is that which grows around you is what it is that you need. I literally feel like I have this superpower that I can just walk past people's lawns and know exactly what's wrong with them. I know from the dandelions in somebody's yard who has gut problems, who's an alcoholic. You know, I can see by clovers growing in people's yards that, oh, they may have a hormonal imbalance there. If there's willow, you know, that's a good sign that somebody's in some major pain and needs some help, or maybe on painkillers already, and when there's an alternative growing in their yard. And another one would be, this just came up with Papa Gary. He was at a job, and the person that he was working for, she was having some lung issues, and he's doing some lawn maintenance in her yard and sees that there's a whole bunch of mullein, and that mullein is exactly what she needs to help her respiratory system. You know, so these things are all around us. To me, from my experience, that's the healthiest way, is to see what's growing around you. And then that said, when we're coming back to the grocery stores, because this is essential today, a lot of people are living in the cities, or they, you know, a lot of people that even end up working with me are still, you know, a bit nomadic. So they don't have the property to grow their own food, or they don't have a lawn of their own, in which case I would recommend just go in the forest and see what's there. Or if you are using the grocery stores, definitely just go with the colors. Make sure that whatever you're buying is a whole food item, you know, and that it's aligned with the rainbow in some way, that it's a vibrant color, that it's got smell, that it's igniting your senses. You know, that's where it is that you'll get the most nutrition from. And again, try sprouting. If you're sprouting any nuts, seeds, legumes, beans, if you're sprouting even the foods that you're getting, the seeds of any fruits, the flowers from any vegetables, collecting those kinds of seeds, that using all the parts of the plant, that is really going to help you as well. It really boosts your nutrition. I want to add to that, Tristan and I were making a mini documentary on the food apocalypse, where I'm going to be going in details about every single aspect of this, including the rainbow diet, which I'm going to share with you here. This rainbow diet, one of the reasons why I chose the nutrition school I did, other than being the world's largest, is because Dr. Andrew Weil is one of the leaders in that school. And he talks very much on the rainbow diet, which aligns with the chakras and so much with me. Not to mention, you know, he was Harvard Psychedelic Club. Like, he's one of those old school psychonauts that we can all appreciate, especially in this tribe we've got here. So let's talk about how it is. Finn, sorry, sweetie, gotta be quieter, okay? Thank you. So when we're talking about the chakras and nutrition, what I'm saying is, like, eat the rainbow every day. Don't count your calories, like count the colors that you're eating. You know, make sure you're getting in the naturally white foods. Make sure you're getting in the naturally black foods. Maybe that's so the weights, like let's start there. The weights would be things like garlic, onions, mushrooms. Those are all like really powerful whites to get in your body. Then we also have the blacks. You know, this could be activated charcoal. You don't want to use that every day all the time, but it's definitely one that you could add in if you're detoxing, or if you have heavy metals in your body, or you know, if you just want to do like a cleanse in some way. But garlic's just as good for cleanses, by the way. So I mean, it doesn't have to be this fancy black charcoal. And eating too much of it wouldn't be good, but the blacks always work as kind of like a magnet. The blackberries do this too, for just pulling everything together and then moving it out of your system. But too much of anything, even the good stuff, may not be good for you in the long run. But it's good to make sure you're getting something of every color. When we're come into the Finn, I know you're having a lot of fun there, but I just have a little bit longer, and I do need your volume to be lower, please. I know it's your mouth. It's still loud. I know. Okay, like I didn't know it was his mouth being loud. Okay. So the reds, this could be apples, this could be watermelon, this could be, I don't know, you guys name some red foods off if you got them. But it's like, it's really, and you can just go by the color. Another thing to consider is, you know, where the vegetables are coming from, what kind of vegetable, what kind of food. So because we're working with the root chakra, yeah, you can also integrate any kind of root vegetables. So even though a beet is purple, even though a potato is white, it still counts as a root food. It would be actually igniting 2 chakras at the same time. This doesn't mean don't eat red if you're eating root vegetables. You still want the colors. The main thing is the rainbow, but there's other things here too to consider. The sacral, that would be anything that's orange. And I actually integrate the reds, or I mean the oranges and the browns together. So it could be a brown mushroom, or it could be an orange carrot. You know, they will still have the same kind of effect. And again, a carrot, that's a root vegetable. So it also counts for helping your root chakra. A lot of things will come back to your root chakra in all of these realms, because the root chakra, we have to keep coming back to over and over. Solar plexus, this one, a lot of the oils count in the solar plexus chakra, the sun chakra. Also anything that's yellow, you know, this could be banana, even though the banana peel is yellow, and the banana itself is white. Again, this could count as both. We're not going to eat the banana peel, but there are tons of things to do with the banana peel, like weighing your teeth with it. There are a lot of cool things that you can do and check out. The heart chakra, this is all the greens. We all know that we've got to come back to that. We've all got forgiveness work that we need to do in ourselves. We all have, you know, some more self-love that we can give to ourselves, and the greens really help with that. The greens are also where we get most of our vitamin supply from. Our vitamins and minerals most often are coming from the greens family, especially those brassica family. So that's anything like kale, cabbage, broccoli, that kind of stuff. And then we have the throat chakra stuff. So this would be the blues. I still do actually mix the blues and the purples together, as long as I'm getting one of them. And by the way, you guys, like, this is how I teach Finn how to eat too. He knows to get all of his colors in a day, and we count every single day together. That's how he gets some of his points to purchase toys or snacks or whatever it is that he wants. Is making sure that he's eating the rainbow. So I do actually put the blues and the purples together because there's not a lot of them. That said, if you guys want to take this really seriously and you want to make sure you're getting in blues from blueberries and the purple from the from beets, like go for it. You know, I encourage you to do it, but it's not as essential. You can kind of mix them together when you come to the nutrition part. The crown chakra, even though that would be normally a violet, that's where I actually consider the whites are the crown chakra for me. So that would be, again, the stuff like mushrooms. All right, does anybody have any questions around how this works? We're good? Okay, so I do want to challenge you guys. Not only do this chakra mapping exercise, and if you want, you can submit it into me too. I would love to just take a look and I can point you in the right direction, give you some resources. Because it's a very helpful tool. It's one that I consistently come back to. It's also one that you can find in my book, as I said. The other challenge is going to be when you guys go to the grocery store. I don't care if you're going, like if you're nomadic and go to the grocery store every single day, or if you know, live in the city or whatever it is, and you have a home and you go grocery shopping once a week for your family, a big shop. Make sure that what you're getting is something from each color of the rainbow. And I'm not saying Skittles, you know, that doesn't count. Any of the things that are highly processed. If you're eating crackers from a box, like that doesn't count as something brown. You know, I'm talking about the whole foods. I'm talking about vegetables. I'm talking and whole vegetables, not some vegetable powders or vegetable extracts. You want the whole, because if you're, again, it's just like the pharmaceutical industry, or like some of the drugs that are on the streets today, like even cannabis, we see them taking like the CBD and the THC and making two separate things. What we want is the whole, because otherwise we're going to be fractioned. We're going to have something missing. So we want the whole. And, you know, you don't have to eat like this consistently all the time, and only this, you know, do like a 90-10 thing or an 80-20 thing, you know, make sure you're eating the rainbow every single day in whole foods. But then, you know, if there's something else that you're eating too, like that's okay also. Like Joe Rogan says, like, I give myself a cheat day. Sometimes I take it, sometimes I don't. You can allow that for yourself. Some of, like, you know, the biggest, highest performers, you know, they don't eat 100% correctly all the time, but most of what they eat is very nutritionally dense. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to be counting calories. You want to be counting nutrients. You want to be counting the colors of the rainbow. And then, yeah, we're coming up on time here. We got about 10 minutes left. So I'm going to answer a question that was really relevant to today. The person is not on the call here with us, but since it's a relevant question, I'm definitely going to bring it to the conversation. And this was, what do I do if my throat is blocked? I feel like there is a knot in my throat and I can't break through. And so here we go. We've talked about this on a few other circles, and Tristan's touched on this. When there's a block in the throat, if you feel like, you know, like you're got cut off at the throat, chances are you actually are. And chances are you're actually doing this to yourself in some way by not being honest with yourself, or not being honest to somebody who needs to hear that truth. Maybe you're people pleasing. You know, that is my own mental saboteur, is the people pleasing. So, and I'll hold back being honest with somebody in order to make sure that they still like me, because I'm scared that, you know, if I'm too honest with them, or if I say what it is that what I really think about their situation, or if I answer their question honestly, maybe it's too much and they won't be responsive, and then I'll lose in some way or whatever, you know. Then all those fears come up, and that false evidence that appears real starts like messing with my vision and all of this kind of stuff. Everybody's going to have their own fractal of this because we're all so unique. I'm just using this as an example, but that is the truth behind it, is that if you're feeling like there's a block in your throat and you can't make it through that, then take the time to sit with yourself. Take the time to figure out what your truth is. Write about it. Get it out and express it in some way. That's another part. of the throat chakra is expression. When your throat, Tristan did a great analysis of what blocks each chakra today. But if we're going to touch on some of the positives, the actual teachings that I gave him was all the positive, happy stuff, actually. And that's what we get when our throat chakra is open, is the communication. We get the positive expression. Maybe this is through art. Maybe this is through writing. Maybe this is through public speaking. This could even just be having a conversation with a loved one in general, with that person, that client, that family member, that friend. And maybe it's the conversation that we have with ourselves too. But that's going to be how it is that you break through this, is going to be taking that time for yourself and exploring what's true for you and how it is that you can express that in a healthy way without holding back everything on the table. Don't hold any of it back. That's why I suggest writing, or if you're an artist, drawing and creating in some way, allowing yourself to get in that flow state so that you're also contemplating in a meditative state and finding that truth, allowing the truth to find you, essentially. You know, if you're in that flow state, meditating, contemplating, so often, you know, it's like when you go in the shower and all of a sudden you start getting all these downloads of everything, you know, it's very much like that. So take the time. That would be my biggest, I think the question was around, like, do you have any tools for that? So that's a tool. It's not anything that I'm going to provide you. Essentially, you have everything that you need. You just have to take the time, even schedule it in if you have to. If you're not good at that, at taking time for yourself, if you're not good at making yourself a priority, then schedule it in, just like how you would schedule in any work that you have to do, just as you'd schedule in any doctor's appointment, schedule in your self-love time to do this chakra work and break through on your own, because this is your work to do. Nobody else can do it for you. There's no magic pill. You know, there's a tons of band-aid solutions, but you know, as cute as some band-aids are today, it's not a permanent thing. It's very temporary. It's not sustainable. You know, you got to let the air get to it. You got to let your body get out of your own way, let your body heal itself. And so this would be my tool for you. Is there anything that you'd like to add, Tristan?
I think I'm okay for now. I think we touched on everything that we documented. And yeah, overall, I think we're good. You've been really thorough and really helpful. You're also muted.
All right, so I guess we'll call it a day then. Hop off. Oh, we got Juliana coming back in.
Yeah, we still got like 10 minutes too.
All right.
I don't know if people are having technical difficulties.
Maybe I'll do one more question. Let me get up my page here. Okay, so we've got let's do this one on it's not exactly on the chakras, but it is a good one as we're talking about doing this work. A question came through on depression. When we're doing this work, is it normal to still get depressed? You know, but here's the thing. It is, of course, normal, because as we're doing this work, we are opening up some things that are hidden. We're peeling back layers like an onion, you know, and we're getting to the heart of the matter. You can even think about it as an artichoke, even a more beautiful food. You know, it's you know, you peel off each layer, and I don't know if any of you guys have eaten artichoke, but as you're peeling off the layers, you're eating the very ends, and as you get through this food that takes forever to work through, you finally get to the heart where there's no more layers anymore, but surrounding the heart is all this fluff, and you got to peel back all the fluff after you get through all the layers so that you don't choke on it. Artichoke is a great food to express what it's like going through a spiritual journey. It's like you feel like you've done all this and you're finally there, but there's still another thing. And not only is it another thing in the way, but it's something that could legitimately kill you because you don't want to eat flesh. So yeah, getting depressed, feeling anxiety, feeling anything less than optimal when you're doing this work is normal. That's part of being human. You know, perfection is not humanism. You know, it's actually, quite frankly, a mental saboteur in itself as well. You know, we do have to ride that wave in the middle. In our last teaching, when I was talking about the yin yang, you know, there's always light in the dark and there's always dark in the light. And our job is to stay present, riding the wave in the middle there. Oh gosh, he is just having the time of his life. Okay. So yeah, when these things are coming up, it's good to remember, you know, if it's depression, chances are that it is work that you need to do in your lower elemental chakras. This is the past work. This is the earth work. If it's anxiety that you're feeling, that is above the throat, that means that you're stuck in the higher centers and you're often feeling anxiety because your vision of the future is not clear, or it's clouded by the false evidence appearing real, the fears. So if this is depression work, like this question was about, let's realign our 4 elemental chakras. Start with the root, move into the sacral, move in up into the solar plexus, that willpower to continue, and then come into your truth and explore what's true for you. Why does this stuff keep coming up? You know, and you know the answers. You know why it's repeating itself. It's because there's something that you haven't learned yet. It's because there's love or forgiveness that hasn't been fully explored to its fullest potential yet around something that's happened in the past. So yeah, if it's depression, it's past work that you have to do. That doesn't mean stay there. That doesn't mean go disassociate with reality. That doesn't mean get out of the present moment and explore the past either. It means stay present in the moment. But as these things are coming up, think about it as if it's a meditation. You're present in the moment as it's coming up. You are feeling the emotions and freeing them. You are seeing whatever happened in the past and letting it be, looking at it as the observer that's present in the moment, not as the child, not as your past version of yourself. If anything, an exercise that you can do, again, this is on the YouTube channel, the Elemental Growth YouTube channel, and there's 2 processes that you can take. One of them is called the Gestalt process, and the other one is called a RIM session. If you want to do either of these with me, you can book a session as well. But the recordings are there. You can do them on your own time. Actually, do you know what? Those are all private for clients. So what you want to do, actually, you're not going to be able to see them, right? They're all unlisted. So you're going to want to message me if this is of interest to you, and I'll send you the recording, or we can book a session. The chakras, those are all available. So yes, sorry, I got confusing there for a minute. Another thing that is available is the prayers, the morning prayer on chakras, and the evening gratitudes on chakras. And that will just really help align you. Again, just do it as an audio and do this work because you deserve it. You know, you deserve to feel your best, even though you're not going to be your best all the time. If it wasn't for the lows, you wouldn't be able to experience the rise. You wouldn't be able to experience the highs. So you want to make sure that as long as you're prepared for the dip, that you're prepared that it's always like this, because then you'll get the most out of this instead of staying stuck down and having some resistance and then having to literally pull yourself up and everything. You'll actually ride with it. If you expect that these cyclical patterns that always happen, the rise and the fall, you will be prepared and you'll be able to ride with it without resistance. Complete surrender to Mama Nature and everything that she has in store for you, because you know this, yeah, life is conspiring in your favor whether you believe it or not. And it's so easy to lose trust in that and lose faith in that. But when you gain that back and you can surrender to its will, that you'll be having fun. So yeah, follow your joy, do this work, keep being you, be yourself, tell the truth. All right. I love you guys. Tristan, if you want to close circle, I think that's.
Yeah, just wanted to thank everybody again for participating. I love seeing how more people are joining week after week, and it's really good that we're getting our messages out. And also, I don't think we've mentioned this before, but just to give the people who are taking advantage of this course to congratulate you again, because you're showing up for yourselves, and it's also valued at $300 per session per circle, with a total of 10 circles. So these coaching circles are a $3,000 value package. And again, we really appreciate the people who are invested in themselves to show up and to do the work. And I just love seeing the benefits and the progress that our clients are making by showing up for these circles and for themselves. And as always, if you have any questions for Ashley pertaining to something that we covered or something that you would like to see in the future, please just email Ashley, or you can DM her at Elemental Growth, her Instagram.
Yeah, and I do want to thank you guys all again. I'll just give you a quick heads up about what's coming up in the future. On the 21st, we're going to be talking about the elements. I'll touch on the chakras again, just do a little reminder of how the first 4 chakras do really align with the elements, but we'll also get more into food, water, sunlight, and of course, like how to, be creative or express yourself in an authentic way to really get in all of the elements. On the 25th, we will be doing self-love and how to reward yourself, why that's a value. And on the 5th, this will be our 10th and last circle. We will be taking a little break, and that will be on the cyclical cycles. That's more around the Be the Change book. I'll get into the moon cycles. I'll get into the seasons. I'll get into how it is you can use this Mama Nature cycles to heal yourself, to be successful in your life, and to stay accountable. Not like, yeah, having a coach is great to help you stay accountable and to give you the tools and to hold your hand. But the truth is, until I could afford a coach, I was on my own. And once I realized that I really wasn't alone, that everything I needed was already there, that's when I started tapping into Mama Nature cycles. So it was me being coached by Mama Nature and staying accountable through Mama Nature cycles and just rolling with that allowed me to make the money that I could start paying for a coach. So, all of this stuff is here. You don't need, you don't need to have the coach. What you need to do is take responsibility and do this on your own. And so on that last circle, that's really going to bring it all together, allow you guys to really tap into some of those resources that help me really get started and gain the momentum that I've got now, years and years later, because my journey started in 2014 and we're 2021 now. So there's been a lot of growth, and even more to come. Like, we're in the middle of a big expansion right now, so there's always more. And yeah, and it just gets easier. I think the more you stay aligned to Mama Nature, the better chance you're going to be in the right place at the right time, all the time. Align with those synchronicities. All right, you guys, I love you all so much, and I'll talk to you next Monday. Okay. Bye. Thank you. Bye.